A brother from Liaqat Abad in Babul Madina, Karachi, he said that he heard this from a person from that area who related the story to him. He said that the family, they used to stay in one place in Kashmir, and they had a state problem. And there was always continuous dispute in the family. And because of this continuous dispute, they went to an amil. He informed them that someone in their family has got deep hate for them and got kala jadoo, black magic done. And this family, they suffered for years. They were forced to abandon the city of their forefathers and resettle. So they thought by doing this, the problems will be over. But the problems continued. And they said they went under many, many difficulties, especially the smallest, youngest brother who was affected the most by jinns. And the jinn used to appear in front of him and used to threaten him, etc. And he said because of this, trying to get the cure, we encountered a lot of financial difficulties. As you know, they said that one of the uncles who was staying with them, he was working in a factory, and a heavy sharp object fell from the top and split him into two, and he passed away. And then they said not long afterwards, the father passed away, and he was not even sick, just passed away suddenly. And not long after that, even the mother passed away. And they spent 8 years now in this new area with this kind of difficulties. But one good news, they said, was in this period, the entire family became attached to Dawud Islami and became murid of Amir Ahl Sunnat. They say one day someone brought an amil to help the little brother. So this amil had some tawiz in the string, and he was burning it. The jinn appeared angrily and picked this amil and flung him on the wall, and the amil became unconscious. And when he regained his consciousness, he left immediately because he realized that this jinn was very strong and he couldn't do anything, and he was scared. And they were very terrified. They began to scream in fear. And while they were screaming, suddenly the jinn stopped and looked at the door as if he was looking at something, and there was a bright glare from the door, and he became dazzled. And then he began to speak, but the family couldn't see who he was speaking to. And the family members looked around to see who is this jinn talking to. Then the jinn asked, "Who are you?" "Oh, Ilyas Qadri." "Oh, you are their peer?" "Oh, so. And then he started disclosing something that happened. He said, "Yes, I killed the uncle," etc., etc. Then he began revealing all his evil action, and it seemed as if Amir Ahl Sunnat appeared spiritually to assist them. And he was questioning the jinn, and the jinn was responding. And apparently, as he kept quiet and he was responding, and then Amir Ahl Sunnat asked him about his belief, and came to know that he was a kafir, non-Muslim jinn. Then it appeared as if Amir Sunnat was explaining something to this jinn, and the jinn was listening quietly, nodding his head, and gradually he became softer and softer. Then they heard him reading kalima, and then he became a Muslim, and then they heard him also becoming murid of Amir Ahl Sunnat. Alhamdulillah, became an Attari. And then he departed. And Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal, the family says we overcame this problem, and the brother's health improved, and they began to live in peace at last. But a few nights later, they heard a very frightening scream, and they found the elder brother sitting on the edge of the bed, trembling in fear. And then he said, he had a very, very frightening dream. He said a group of jinns with horrible faces, and their leader approached and said angrily, he said, "I will destroy the whole family." He said, "Bring your Ilyas as well. I will deal with him as well." And he said, "I'm going to come after Asr on Wednesday and deal with all of you." So they got very scared, became fearful, and they didn't know how or what to do. And Tuesday passed by, and the family were very disturbed and very scared. But on Wednesday morning, Alhamdulillah Azza wa Jal, in the night, the big brother said he dreamt of Huzur Ghaus Azam radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. he came in his dream and said, Insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, nothing will happen. That jinn can't do anything to you, can't do anything. And Insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, I will also be present. When the family heard this, they got so happy. They decorated the house, they put perfume in the house. And then, just after Asr Salah, the little brother fell unconscious, senseless. And the jinn appeared and he stood up. And then the jinn started speaking in very abusive language, in a terrifying voice. And he began approaching them in a threatening manner. And they said they wanted to escape, but all the routes were blocked by jinns. Then all of a sudden, this horrible and terrifying jinn turned and looked towards the outside door. It looked as if someone was coming. The jinn said in a roaring voice, okay, you are Ilyas Qadri, come. You are the one that made my brother a Muslim. And then in a fury he rushed to the door. Suddenly he stopped. Then he's asking Hazrat Ilyas Qadri, why are you folding your arms? Is your ghost coming? And he said, I will deal with him as well. Saying this, he began to grind his teeth in anger. And just as he went forward, he got picked up, thrown in the air and flung on the floor. And this happened a few times, and suddenly it was as if someone was picking him and throwing him on the floor. Then he was lying on his back and covering his eyes such a way like something bright was blinding him. He was covering his eyes to protect him. And also he appeared to be in pain. Then he began to toss and turn and suffer as if he was being burnt. Everyone in the house started reciting, Ya Ghaus al-Madad, Ya Ghaus al-Madad, Ya Ghaus al-Madad. And then the terrifying scream of the jinn became more intensified. And then afterwards he began to plead. He began to cry for forgiveness. He said, please, please forgive me, leave me, don't burn me, don't burn me, I will go away, I won't come and trouble them again, please leave me alone. And he kept pleading. And then it seems that his voice went down, he became quieter. It seemed as if he was burned completely. And then the little brother gained his consciousness and he recovered. And they said, Alhamdulillah, after that, after this incident, there was peace in the home. And thereafter, no jinns came and troubled them. Alhamdulillah, as you can see, what a great blessing this is, to have someone that can help you. And this family was suffering for years. And look at the intervention of their Pir Murshid and also the help of Hudr Ghaus Azam, who obviously came there because of Amir Ahl Sunnat, Alhamdulillah, and how they were helped.